All right, what's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, Create Space. Link will be in the description box below, as usual. This one's entitled Why You Want to Be a Wife Now? Like, a friend of mine wanted me to join this group, Facebook group, on people who grown and wanted to be married by this year or next year, some shit, you know. But one of the crazy things about it was, like, when you would interact with people and you would read what people have to say and what they post and what their interests are, you would see a lot of people who were young, who used to be young and wild and free, now who are old and want to be settled down and committed, which nothing's wrong with that. But the way it's done is horribly wrong. What I mean by that is the women will want to be wives in their late 30s, early 40s, and it wasn't like they were admitting that, when they were younger, they were pretty much playing games, you know, and now that they are, how can I say this? Now that they didn't want to be with anybody, and now they went through their phase of just using guys or getting whatever you want out of guys or manipulating situations or being able to be to get all the attention from various people. Now that the attention is faded and the time and people have moved on, now they want to be wives, and you can't have it both ways. You have the people who are single parents who, were single parents on purpose, you know, and didn't want to get involved with anybody else. But now that their kids are close to becoming adults, now they want to be a wife, and it's like you just putting it. Well, if the person that you might wind up being with, if they have adult kids, what are y'all actually getting married for? Like, what are y'all actually gonna build and grow together? I mean, are you gonna have more kids? Normally, that's not the case. Um, are you trying to because marriage is a business. Are you trying to go in business together and build something for both of um, for your blended family as a whole? Or are you trying to, because what winds up happening is you have one person really trying to use the other person for their resources so they can actually take care of their family that they weren't really taking care of properly. So that's why I said why you want to be a wife now. Um, you have the ones who have baby fever because they were young and free, and now they want to be a mother, but that has nothing to do with um, wanting to be a man's wife, or it's just that's the means to an end. I'm gonna have to be with this guy and say yes so he can get me pregnant. Now you don't have to do it. There's plenty of people who playing that game and getting pregnant in the interim, and then they fall out. It's a two-way street with that. But why do they want to be wives now? There are plenty of people who wanted to um, have a social life, and after years and years of having a popping social life, you too old for the club. The events are starting to look a little bit on the cusp of being AARP events. The people that were attractive 5, 10 years ago don't look so fly no more, and that's your group. you know. So now it's like, well, I had all my fun in my social life, so now I could sit down, relax, and chill with this person. And that doesn't mean, but that's a selfish, self-centered way of wanting to do it, in a sense, because what you're doing is now you want to go out with a person. So when you were young and free, you wanted to go out on your own and meet many people and have your ego stroked. But now when you hit a certain age, it's like you ain't got no man. Seriously, what's wrong with you? So now you still want to go out, but you need to be validated by being in a relationship with somebody to not make you look like a nutcase. So, which becomes a motivation to want to be in a real committed relationship and be a wife. Now, the other thing is, if you never practiced on actually being there for another person, or being there for somebody of the opposite sex, or being in a relationship where there's teamwork between two people, why you want to be a wife to learn how to do that? Why don't you do that while you're single first? Because a lot of what was happening when I was just perusing the whole thing, there were a lot of ladies who were grown in age but didn't know how to be women. So they wanted a man to come through to have you know all the bases covered, and then when all those bases are covered, they'll figure it out. And that's different from being a protector and provider, because now you're also a teacher and you have to say, okay, this is how you do this, this is how you do that, this is how you do this. And the weird part about it was, um, if you put a guy in that particular situation, if you put a woman in that particular situation, rather, she'll say, I feel like I'm raising my son or dating a child. But they didn't look at it the same way. They thought it was something that you were supposed to do. So, I met plenty of people who 30 plus, 40, late 20s, who really don't know how to do shit, but they want to be a wife, but they don't bring wife skills to the table. And their intentions for wanting to be a wife is usually because nobody wants them no more. So now, not because they're not chased, or some of them are tired of being chased by fuck boys, and the thrill is gone. But that need for attention is still alive and kicking, because even if they're with you, they're gonna still do um, social media advertising to see if they can get attention from other guys while they're with you. Which, once again, why you want to be a wife now? Because if you still looking for other guys' attention when you're with a guy, then obviously you're not. It's a blatant sign that you're not gonna be committed. Um, when it comes to catering to these guys, it's like, you know when your marketplace value drops, you have to settle for being a wife, because you don't want to be alone, but you still don't want to actually care about the man you want to marry or cater to him. So why do you want to do it? Some people just want a ring, and some people just want a wedding, and some people just want um, to tell their friends and family, I's married now. But there's really no legitimate reason when when they hit a certain age, because they still, what's weird is, if you young and you get married and you grow, you evolve, and you may even grow apart, it makes sense. But when you grown and you have knowledge of self and knowledge of life and knowledge of how things work, and you still playing naive, you're doing things for superficial reasons that are detrimental to the persons or people that would be involved with you. And that's why the question comes up: why now? Like, what are you doing? And no, a lot of times they don't have a real answer. It's just some fantasy that's based in fantasy that doesn't really work well in reality for the other person. You know, it's like a guy saying, "I want to have a wife so I can fuck her every day." You can do that if you're single. Just saying. Yeah.